we're very agnostic about what product we choose because it's really more about the client in the middle and what solutions we bring to the client.
In this episode of Advisor Revelations, hear how advisors can use the Retirement Income Style Awareness Tool, or RISA, for prospecting and creating value for existing clients.
Welcome, everyone, to the Advisor Revelations podcast. I'm Jackson, a consultant here at DPL Financial Partners, and today we're going to discuss how advisors, like our guest joining us today, are going to use the Retirement Income Style Awareness Profile, or RISA as we abbreviate it over here, as a competitive advantage with prospective clients to identify their unique retirement income preferences. And with that, I'd like to introduce our guest, who is the CEO and lead wealth advisor at Landing Point Financial, Joe Flinner. Joe, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jackson.
Awesome. So before we start our discussion today, I want to remind our listeners to please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite streaming app for updates. If anything we talk about today interests you, be sure to connect to the DPL consultant on our website, dplfp.com. Joe, so that our listeners can have a better understanding of the type of firm you're with and your experience, could you share a little bit more about yourself and Landing Point and how long you've partnered with DPL so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, I started my career in 1997 with American Express Financial Advisors, which is now Ameriprise. I felt really lucky to be introduced to investments and entrepreneurship at an early age and knew this was really something that I wanted to do really as far back as high school and really found a good firm to partner with. Summer of 2021, I started my own RIA firm. Landing Point Financial Group is really a boutique wealth office, and we focus on comprehensive financial planning, investment management. We also do tax preparation and planning. We really work with about 300 core clients and manage about $215 million. And our internal tagline is to be a blessing to our clients that we serve. I'm married with 3 kids and a lifelong Browns fan, good or bad. And I started working with DPL really from day one that I started my RIA firm, and it's been a great partnership ever since.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that background and kind of going off that into your everyday practice. So how did you discover the RISA tool and how long have you been using it with your clients?
Yeah, so introduced by you and DPL and really been using the tool for about 6 months. And I know I've taken at least a dozen clients through the pilot phase so far and had a lot of great conversations with clients due to it.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great. So what drew you to the RISA? When you initially started rolling it out to your clients, what stood out about the assessment compared to some of the other tools out there? And how have you found success with that tool?
Yeah, so when I was introduced to the concept, the idea that there's 4 broad strategies to solve the retirement income puzzle, that really resonated with me. I listened to the first podcast, and the first thing that I did was I wrote a kind of a white paper for myself just to really understand it. And I really looked at it as more of a conversation piece instead of just the tool and the questionnaire. And again, I like how it really organizes those 4 broad retirement income solutions: total return, income protection, risk wrap, and time segmentation. And I think it does a nice job of kind of narrowing it down to those 4 key areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you do present this to a client, how are you kind of implementing the tool into your process of, prospecting and then eventually onboarding them to your firm? How are you kind of integrating that into that process?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that sets Landing Point apart from other financial advisors is that I think financial advisors and consumers show a really strong preference toward one retirement income style over another. And I find that a lot of financial advisors look at kind of in a solution, especially in the annuity world, as kind of a one size fits all instead of focusing on client goals and preferences. And I think that's kind of where I see a lot of prospective clients coming in and really being in the wrong solution. And I think that misalignment can really cost clients a lot of money. It can tie their money up for, a longer period of time than it needs to be. So that's really where I try to stand out, is trying to get that alignment right.
So Joe, I know that you mentioned misalignment with clients that come in. Maybe they were put into a product that may not match up with what their goals are at this point. So using the RISA tool, have you found any clients in, not the most ideal situation? And from that, have you found any opportunities for, 1035 exchanges or rollovers into a product that better suits their needs?
Yeah, no, I think that's where the outcome of that misalignment comes, is when we're really going through that process, we're doing the RISA questionnaire, focusing on their risk tolerance, and we find that misalignment. There's a couple different outcomes that come from that. There's a potential for a 1035 exchange into the correct type of an annuity. There is the possibility that they're in the right annuity and they've got a perfect fit. And I send that to you and you say, hey, Joe, we've got to really keep that client in this product because it's a great fit and it's perfect for them. Or it's the type of scenario where they're in an annuity, it's not appropriate, and we need to roll that over into a non-annuity solution. So those are typically the three outcomes that we usually see on the cases that we do.
Yeah. And so I can imagine, bringing a client on and presenting them with 4 different types of income rather than just the one size fits all. I can imagine that's giving you a competitive advantage versus, other advisors in your area that you're going up against every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing. How do you think this has helped you standardize your process with prospective and existing clients? Do you think that it's been, a value add to have this framework for every single client so that it's in place and you have kind of a streamlined solution to find the best way that they're going to take income when retirement does come around?
Yeah, I do think as I work with a client through that financial planning process and introduce those 4 broad strategies to solve that puzzle. By using that tool, it kind of standardized the approach for the retirement income style. And then I think risk questionnaire standardizes it on the, what type of risk tolerance the client has.
Yeah, that's great. And going off that, so when you bring a client in and you have them take the questionnaire, have you gotten any pushback? Does it seem like a hassle to some of the clients, or is it, pretty easy for them to get it done and then present them with, some really solid feedback about their preferences?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the preference questionnaire is pretty simple, doesn't take a lot of time. And I think because I focus on the conversational piece, with experience, a long time experience as a financial advisor, I can lead clients through that conversation, even if they don't specifically take the questionnaire, and just have, I think, a really good value add conversation around these broad strategies.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That was our hope with the RISA tool, rolling it out to all of our members. And so, on top of the RISA, how do you think just the overall partnership with DPL has affected your firm? I know that we did introduce you to the RISA tool, but beyond that, what value add have you seen from DPL with your clients?
Yeah, I think specifically having a partnership with DPL and having that expertise in the annuity space is a nice value add for our clients here. I think it's hard for any advisor to be an expert in everything, and having good partners are really key in that area. Nice.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. And then, I guess the other question I would have for you is when you kind of, mold together the two. So you have the RISA tool and you have DPL available to you. How has the client's feedback been, around eventually leading to an annuity solution for these clients?
Yeah, no, I think, again, going back to that alignment, once you have the client properly aligned, then the conversation is very straightforward because we're very, agnostic about what product we choose, because it's really more about the client in the middle and what solutions we bring to the client versus, we have this product and we're trying to distribute it to all clients. So, again, it's really about that alignment is really what I find key.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's our goal here. And I'm glad that, we found a lot of success with you and your firm and a lot of recurring business. Seems like clients are pretty happy with the solutions that we've provided. And so with that, I really appreciate your partnership with me and with the rest of the firm and for joining this podcast episode today.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Jackson.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining on today for our brief discussion. And again, want to connect with you guys at dplfp.com and hope that you'll subscribe for more episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Thanks Thanks for listening. To hear more Advisor Revelations, go to dplfp.com and subscribe on your favorite podcast streaming app.